Hello and welcome back to the 5th season of Neighbors Cooking. I am so grateful to be back in the kitchen with you guys today. It has been 6 weeks, 7 weeks that we've been off, maybe 8 weeks. But in that time, we've been doing a whole lot of things, getting ready for the new season, looking at some new guests. I've got some great guests coming up in the next few weeks. Not tonight, because tonight we're going to talk about two things. We're going to do a recipe in a little bit, but the first thing I want to talk about is my new cookware. So I've partnered up with Hexclad and Gordon Ramsey's Hexclad Cookware. And the reason I've done it is, like I tell you, I don't believe in buying a bunch of pots and pans and utensils and things that you're never going to use. And if you're going to invest in things for your kitchen, then I say invest in good quality cookware and tools that you use. So for me, I was using some copper pans that I really loved that I've had for years and years, but they're just not serving their purpose anymore. Things do wear out. These new pans that we're going to be showing to you today are just incredible. So I want to show you how they came. So Joe, I'm going to have you come over to this camera. And we're going to see, which camera? There you go, this camera. So this is the box that it comes in, the Hexclad box. And I've already unpacked a few of them, but I want to kind of talk to you about how you start your first use of pans. So Hexclad comes in this beautiful box. When you open it, the first thing you see is, what is Hexclad? What is it as far as the type of cookware that we use? So in this case, it has 3 different components to one pan. So we're using, it has traditional non-stick, cast iron, and stainless steel. So the stainless steel is on the outside of the pan. We have the non-stick on the inside, and in the middle of it is the cast iron. So these pans get incredibly hot when we're using them. So that is what's unique about them. Also, that means that these pans run extra hot. So when you're cooking with them, you're going to use a little bit less heat because they're going to be very hot. So we've got the box, and the first thing it tells you to do is to season your pans before you use them. So when you're seasoning a pan, you basically are going to take your pan, you're going to put a little bit of olive oil or any type of clean oil, just a little bit. You're going to heat it up, get it hot, and then you're going to turn it off, and you're going to let the pan cool, and then that will start the seasoning process for your pans. And you can, and as you start to use them and cook with them more, they'll continue to season. The other thing about when you're cleaning your pans, you don't want to have your pans scrubbed. You're not going to use a scrubby with this. If you need to soak them for a second, you can do that. Don't scrub them with abrasive materials because you will scratch the surface. I don't care what pan you purchase that says it won't scratch, it will scratch. So same with these pans. So you do want to be cautious in how you clean them and how you take care of them. Pans are an investment. The investment for these can run you anywhere from $100 for a single pan up to $1,000 depending on what kit you get from Hexclad. So let's open this up. It also has a lifetime warranty, which I think is okay. The thing about lifetime warranties is it's whose lifetime. So is it my lifetime or is it the lifetime of the cookware when the company still exists? So that's always a question. I remember years ago when I was young, there was a thing called the Ginsu knife. And if you don't remember that, as a young person, you will as an old person like me, the Ginsu knife was everywhere. It was in fairs, on TV. It was a knife that would cut anything. They would throw a tomato up in the air and put the knife in, and the tomato would, slice between it. You could cut a beer can with it and it would never dull. And it had a lifetime guarantee. But guess what? Ginsu went out of business years and years ago. So if you still have it in your drawer, it no longer has a guarantee. But take care of your pans. So we're going to open this up. And Joe's got a good camera on it. So it's a beautiful packaging. Each of the lids come in their own container. They're very heavy. They have a vent at the top of them. 3 different size pans. So we're using, this is the largest, the 12-inch fry pan. So you can see it here. I don't know if you can see it. So it's a beautiful finish. Cast iron, stainless steel, non-stick. So that is the 12-inch fry pan. We also have a 10-inch fry pan and an 8-inch fry pan. And I don't need to open them all up for you guys right now. I'll open up my Christmas gifts later. But it's really a great set of cookware, and I'm so happy to have it in my kitchen. We'll be using it lots and lots. So if you're thinking about new pans and you want to look at them, look at Hexclad. I'll put a link in my profile for some great deals that you can get with Hexclad. The set that I'm unloading today, I will have a coupon on it. I think it's going to be $400 for the 3 fry pans, 12, 10, and 8, and their lids, and then the 3 pans that are for saucepan, small, medium, and then you have your large boiling pan. They also have these bags in them. I think the thought is that you will put your pans back into these when you're done. They won't last but a minute because they're pretty weak material. So I would just recommend that if you're going to put them into your cupboards, I use these little things between all my pans. So I just put it in my pan, and then I can put my next size pan on top of that, and then I don't have pans scratching pans, all right? And we're going to be using that one today. So I'm going to move all of these out of my way over there, Joe. And welcome back to Joe. We've got Joe back doing our cameras again. I'm so happy. I haven't seen him since he went on his cruise. And oh no, you went to, where did you go? You went on a cruise, didn't you?
No, that was August.
You went to Key West.
Yeah, August was the cruise.
August was the cruise, traveling. And Key West, you know, how gay does that get? I saw the pictures. And he had a great time, but it gave us some time and a break from the show, and it was nice. I had Pride that happened and a lot of other things. We also did this amazing event at Christmas, on Christmas Day. We called it Christmas in the Desert, and we fed 1,050 meals to all of our community, anybody who wanted to come, seniors, people that were couldn't afford to have a nice meal, or people that just were alone and wanted to come, and it was so much fun, so I'm so proud of that event. But January, we've got a new year. We've got lots of things coming up. Later on this month, one of my guests is Devin Green. And if you don't know who she is, look her up. You will find that she is a comic actress. She's got a persona that just is amazing. And I have been following her for over 20 years. So look at Devin Green and look for her profile and see what she's going to bring to the show. So that's about it in our cookware. So we're going to do a nice, easy dish today. We're going to do a chicken stroganoff. We're all tired of turkey and ham and all the other things that have been cooked for the last 8 weeks for us. So we're going to do a turkey stroganoff. So I'm going to get these pans out of my way. I also have another special guest here today. Well, he comes fairly regularly, my friend Randy, who is a retired actor. He is 90 years old, and he's just one of the most amazing people that I know. So he comes and watches the show, and then, of course, he has a critique as a director later on. But there he is, just sitting there waiting for me to cook some food for you, aren't you? You can answer. All right, so let's talk about the ingredients that we're going to do for our chicken stroganoff. And I am going to cheat here a little bit because I don't have a monitor today, so I had to write everything down. So I just did this pretty simply. We went out and got a rotisserie chicken, and you want to get it cold, and you're going to tear it all apart so you've got some nice chunks. Make sure you take all the skin and the bones so you've got just nice rotisserie chicken. We're going to use 6 tablespoons of butter. We're going to use 1 red onion that you cut up, sliced up, diced up, however you like it. About a pound of mushrooms sliced. Teaspoon or 2 of Worcestershire sauce. A cup of white wine. A cup of heavy cream. And then you could also use creme fraiche. You could use a non-fat milk if you wanted. And then you'd have to thicken it up with some thickener like flour, if you made a roux, or you could use arrowroot. So any of those things that you want to use. We're also going to use lots of herbs. So we're using thyme, dill, and tarragon, some lemon zest, and then some more mushrooms. So we're going to get that started. We're going to start off with, and I've got some pasta water getting ready to boil and some fresh pasta. So I'm going to get my pan hot here. Not to worry, these have all been seasoned already. Clean, put back in the box so that I could do the unboxing for you. But There they are. So we're going to start off with our butter. Now, like I said, these pans run very hot, so you want to be cautious when you first start to use them. Test the heat, see how they're doing, but they will run very hot because of the cast iron that's in the middle of them. So we're going to start by getting our mushrooms going. Now, as far as mushrooms go, you could use any mushroom you want. Cremini, you could use white, you could use just regular, where my mind goes, all kinds of mushrooms, doesn't really matter. Whatever kind you like, be sure you clean them if they're not already sliced. If they aren't already sliced, if they're whole mushrooms, don't wash them in water. Just take a damp rag, a damp paper towel, and wipe the tops of them off. I find that if you wash mushrooms, they get a little spongy because they absorb some of that water and you can't get it out. So we're going to start off by putting our mushrooms in our butter. And we're just going to let those start to saute away. Remember, in any pan, you don't want to use metal. Use wood, use plastic. Don't use metal. You're going to scratch your pan again. And we're going to put some salt in these. And the salt helps. Oh, and I forgot one ingredient. I got to get it out. Paprika. There we go. 2 kinds of paprika, sweet paprika and smoked paprika. We're going to use sweet paprika. So that's one of the ingredients that I neglected to mention a minute ago. So as the mushrooms cook down, you're going to see a lot of moisture come into them. I put a little bit of salt to begin with, and then as they start to cook down, we'll add a little bit more salt onto them, and that helps kind of get some of the moisture out and add some flavor. So you want to cook your mushrooms first. You don't want to put them into the sauce. You want to get that nice buttery deliciousness on them. And so we're going to cook those up for a minute. So I don't know what all of you guys did for the holidays. I had a beautiful holiday and a beautiful time off. But I missed doing the show. I really did. And we're doing this off the cuff today. I don't even have any notes up. We're just kind of throwing it together and doing the show today. I was so excited just to be back and doing it that I lost track of some of my time. But it's an easy recipe. We'll have it done in plenty of time for the show. And to make my guests happy, happy, happy.
We hungry.
We're hungry. Okay, Joe, no ad-libbing. Thinks he's a star all of a sudden. I don't know. All that traveling he was doing, he's used to getting served. So how was Key West?
It was fun. It was
Yeah.
Josh's 50th.
That's right.
It was good.
That's right.
A lot of fun. He had never been there, so it was quite an experience for him.
What did you like best about it?
I just like that everybody's in such a great mood. It's such a lively town.
It is a lively town.
Yeah.
It is. I have not a son, but he might as well be a son. Somebody who worked for me as a house manager in Atlanta for 10 years, 12 years. And he's just a super nice kid, but now he's not a kid anymore. He lives in Key West. I've got to have you guys look him up while you were there, but I'm sure you were busy as it was. So we're going to add a little bit more salt, a little bit of pepper into those, and then we're going to add our onions. So let those start cooking down. You do want to chop your onions up pretty finely. You don't want crunchy onions in your chicken stroganoff. And these pans are running hot. I can tell just by how fast things are cooking. So that is a nice thing. All right, keep letting those go. Now we're going to add some of our paprika. I'm just putting in, a couple tablespoons. There we go. The way my grandmother used to measure. All right, then we're going to blend all that together. Let those come up. And while that's going, I'm going to cut up. So into into the base that we're making is going to be the tarragon. The dill and the chives are going to go into the pasta. So we're going to cut those up first. Pull these things out of my way. So this is fresh dill. I'm always afraid I'm going to cut a finger off on camera. All right, there we go.
Well, it looks like you already did.
I have, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Well, that was a lawnmower accident, actually.
Oh, okay.
It was how I got out of cutting the lawn when I was young. I cut my finger off on the lawnmower. I was traumatized by it. I could never cut another lawn again. And when you live on an acre of land with a lot of grass, that is what you have to do. So I milked that until I couldn't milk it anymore. Until my dad said, get over it. All right, so all of these amazing herbs are what are going to be add so much flavor into our dish. All right. So we're going to take the tarragon and we're going to put that into our mixture. You can already see it thickening up. So it's creating this great consistency. Most of the water has cooked off. Mushrooms have browned up. It smells so good. Can you smell it, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
It smells like heaven. All right. The next thing we're going to add in is our couple tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And this is a super easy meal to make for your family. So really one pot for the sauce and then your pasta. Let me turn that up and get it boiling. Benny, I'm cooking in the kitchen again. I honestly haven't cooked much in the kitchen since I took the break. And then we're going to add our lemon zest. A little bit of freshness in it. Let that cook. Where did you go on your cruise? I forget.
Alaska.
Alaska, that's right. That's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it was beautiful, but it was cold for us.
Well, it's Alaska.
Desert folk.
Randy, you've traveled a lot. Have you been to Alaska?
Not really, no.
You haven't been to Alaska, but you've been over most of Europe.
Actually, been there with the short line.
Were you when you were in the service or just on a trip on your own? Were you in the service when you were in Alaska? Because you've been in the service, you've been a teacher, you've been an actor. A job? All right. The next thing we're going to put into this sauce is our cup of white wine or vermouth if you want to use vermouth. And we're going to cook some of that off. And bring that back to a boil. So my friend Randy's been recovering from shoulder surgery, double shoulder surgery at 90 years old, left and right, a matter of 8 weeks apart, 6 weeks apart from each other. It was pretty traumatic. But no more creaking and crawling. Their shoulders work. Yeah? Yeah. Good enough, huh? Yeah.
So you can shimmy a little?
He can shimmy a little.
Shimmy, baby.
All right, where is my boiling water? So you're going to cook this down. The 3-second rule does not apply in a kitchen.
I didn't get that on camera.
Don't pick up things off the floor and put them back in your food. Come on. That just looks lovely. I want to get a little taste of it. So, Joe, I guess you're going to be my taste tester tonight.
Oh, no. I don't have my makeup on.
That's what's different. Well, we could roll Randy and he could...
Yeah, let's roll Randy in.
You have to move that stuff out of the way. You want to be my taste tester tonight, Randy?
What?
You want to be my taste tester?
Sure.
All right, so that wine is cooking off. So you can see we're starting to get a little bit thicker here again. And then we're going to add in our chicken. So I just went and bought a rotisserie chicken at Costco. So you can get it for a couple bucks, so it's a very inexpensive. I let it cool down and then tore it all off. Yum. Now, as far as the pasta goes, you want to use a pasta that's a little thicker when you're using things like stroganoff, just so the noodle will stick to it. That looks so good. So we're using pappardelle. I guess that's what this is called. It's a thick pasta. I use fresh pasta. You can buy dry pasta. It just takes a lot longer to cook. This dry pasta will be ready in just a couple of minutes. Put some salt in the water for flavor. And in it goes. Voila. And then the very last thing we're going to add into this mixture, looks so good, is the heavy cream. So we've got a cup of heavy cream going to this. Like I said, you could use half and half, heavy cream. You could use non-fat milk if you want to thicken it up with some arrowroot or something. But this heavy cream really brings it all together. And just look at that. Looks so beautiful. Now, I know a lot of people put mustard in their stroganoffs. I'm not a big fan of mustard in stroganoff. I think you get all the flavors you lose all the flavor and the mustard kind of takes over. And what you want is all the herbs. The other herbs, the dill and the chives, we're going to add to the noodles once we drain them. We're going to put them back in with some butter, and we're going to add those herbs onto the noodles, so the noodles have a nice herb feel to them. And we are almost done. Well, it's not so bad for no script today. Yeah. I don't usually actually have a script. I have notes up on a monitor that I can see. No notes today. So this is all from old man memory. Oh my God.
Smells
I should be a chef.
You should be. But then you'd be working all the time.
I work all the time anyways. Food is my love. You can tell by my belly, which I'm not proud of anymore. All right, so we got our pasta noodles going. And we get some bowls out. And we're going to get ready to serve this. All right. Let's turn this down a little. And that heavy cream will naturally start to thicken up. That's why you want to get all the moisture out of the mushrooms before you add the cream. Otherwise, you just get kind of a watery, creamy kind of not pleasant thing. There we go. All right. Let me test my noodles. Joe's moving my bowls. Perfect, perfect. Benny, you need to get out of my way, my little buddy. Go on. All right, let's drain these noodles off. I'm just going to put a little bit of butter back into this pan, like a tablespoon. Let it melt real quick. Won't take long. Get that off. We're going to add our herbs into the butter. So we're making like an herb butter. There we go. And the noodles. Mix those all together. There we go. All right. Where are my tongs? Someone's been in my kitchen. All right. Put some of these in. So you can see all the herbs are stuck together on the pasta. Beautiful. Take some of our stroganoff mix. Some of the juice. There we go. And a little bit of basil for the top. How's that look, Joe?
Delicious.
Randy, come on in here. I'm going to bring you in and you're going to try.
Wait. Okay.
Here we go.
Oh,
So, can you see him?
Back up a little bit.
Back up a little bit.
all right.
There you go.
All right. So you're going to get the first taste.
Okay.
All right.
And this is the first taste of what?
Chicken stroganoff.
Chicken stroganoff.
Chicken stroganoff.
Okay.
It's hot. Be careful.
It is hot.
What do you think?
Oh, good.
Okay.
Oh, mistake. He was thinking about it.
He was thinking about it. It was a little too long. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this recipe. It's only about 450 calories when it's all said and done. You can get it done in 20, 25 minutes, and your family's going to love it. We'll see you again next week on Neighbors Cooking, next Wednesday, when we'll have more guests, more food, more fun. And thank you all so much. I've missed you, and I look forward to seeing you next week right back here in the kitchen. See y'all later.